Do you ever feel like you lack the motivation to do the important things in your life? And then you kind of feel bad or guilty for not doing those things? Or maybe you're starting to wonder if you're just lazy because you never seem to get around to doing the things that you want to do. And this lack of motivation is holding you back from creating the life that you want. And it's probably hurting your self-esteem too, because you might be wondering, why can't I just do these things? And why do other people seem to have such an easy time doing the things that move the dial on their ideal future? And this lack of motivation holds you back from creating the life that you want. And it probably makes you feel a little bad too, because maybe you just wonder, why can't I just get around to doing these things? Or why do other people seem to have such an easy time when I seem to struggle so much with doing these things? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. What to do when you aren't feeling motivated. And I'm going to share a few tips and a simple reframe that'll help you get moving forward. So the inspiration I had behind this video is actually because this video is coming out later than I wanted it to. Usually I like to upload around Sunday or Monday, and this week I just did not have a script ready. And I spent all day Sunday basically berating myself mentally for not having a script ready. And I kept thinking, I need to make a script. I need to film my video and I need to have my script so that I can get this video out on time or like not too late. And I just had this constant mental dialogue running in my head that was stressing me out and making me feel really bad because I knew I should be doing something, but I just wasn't doing it. And every time I would think about like, okay, you should write the script now, I would also have these thoughts of, but I feel so tired today. Like I have no creative energy. I don't actually have very much physical energy. I just really want to relax. And I just really did not feel that I had anything to give to a creative pursuit like a script at that time. And of course, I probably could have forced it. I could have pushed through and created a script. And would that script have been great? Maybe, probably not. And would I have felt better after pushing through? Maybe, but probably not, because then I would have felt even more tired, because that's the main reason why I wasn't doing it in the first place, is I just felt tired. And so forcing myself to do it would have used up more mental creative energy that I just didn't have. And so I probably would have felt more exhausted after. And I probably would have also been feeling bad about the quality of my script, because I would have been worrying about, I rushed it, I just made it happen. I'm not sure if I really put everything into it that I should have, or I didn't give it the time and attention to really make it something that I want to put out onto YouTube. And nothing is more demotivating than constantly mentally berating yourself for not doing something and constantly thinking that you should be doing something when you have no energy or desire to do that thing. So what I ended up doing was having a little talk with myself where I really realized that I had three options. I could either skip uploading this week, I could push through and write the script and get the video out on time, or I could wait and upload the video later than I wanted to. And with that conversation with myself that I had came another realization, which is this is my YouTube channel. I haven't really dedicated myself to a particular upload day. I tend to like to get them out around Sunday or Monday, but no one is holding me to that. This is all within my own control. And so I was able to make the decision that, okay, this video is just going to be going out later than I want it to. I don't want to push through and rush this script or, exhaust myself further. And it's really okay if this video goes out a couple days later than I initially wanted it to. So once I had come to that place where I had really decided, like, how important is it to get it done? And is it really the end of the world if it doesn't get done exactly on time? And from there, I was able to make a decision. And so that decision was that I was not going to work on the script on Sunday. I was going to completely just take the day off, not do any work on it, and just let myself relax and rest because I was feeling tired and uncreative. And so I made the decision that I would just push the working on the script until the next day. I would just trust that, if I let myself rest now, that creative energy will come back tomorrow and I can reassess this situation tomorrow. And really, I was able to rely on some past experiences that I had had because I knew that in the past, when I had not pushed through and just let myself rest, that by the next day, usually I was feeling a lot better, like back to my normal self. And so that's what I did. I decided that I was not going to be working on it, that the video was going to be going out later than I wanted to, and I just let myself relax for the rest of the day. And then by the next day, I was feeling so much better, back to full energy, back to feeling creative. And I was able to sit down and I outlined probably like 4 scripts. Instead of kind of creating one half-assed script, I was able to rest, recuperate my creativity, and then outline 4 scripts instead of 1. And so this approach was really just balancing sort of flow and force or pushing through. And there was some element of pushing through or force that was involved in what I ended up doing because yes, I let myself flow on Sunday and I wasn't going to work on it. But then when Monday came around, I had to have a little bit of force where I dedicated myself to sitting down for an hour without distractions to work on the script. You have to use a little bit of willpower to set aside the time to get started to make the thing happen. And then the rest from there can flow. So that's the story of how this video came out. It's of course a little bit later than I would have liked, but it's a product that I can stand behind and feel good about rather than forcing and rushing a script that I probably wouldn't have felt as good about. And I want to be clear that being consistent with this YouTube channel is really important to me. It's one of the components of how I'm creating a life that I love and becoming my ideal future self. So producing these YouTube videos every week is one of the ways that I support my vision for the future that I want and the life that I want to lead. And I also get a lot of personal fulfillment and satisfaction from being able to share what I've learned and what I've overcome with folks on YouTube just like you. And really quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And not doing the things that we want to do or not having the motivation or tools to get those things done impacts our lives. The first way that it impacts us is it delays our future. So you're not taking the steps to create your dream life, and you're not taking the steps that will help you become your ideal vision of yourself. Another way that it can really harm our lives is that it just causes so much mental stress and turmoil. Like all day Sunday, I was thinking this constant loop of you should be doing it, you should be doing it, you should be doing it. And then thinking, oh, but I just don't have the energy, or I just don't want to, or blah, blah, blah. It's just this constant turmoil that can cause a lot of low-key stress in our lives. And another thing that can happen is it can kind of erode your self-esteem. Like you may not be feeling that great when you feel like there's something you should be doing and you think that, oh, why can't I just do this? Like what is wrong with me that I just cannot get my butt off the couch and do this thing that I think I want to be doing? And doing these things that are important in our lives is how we self-actualize, it's how we become our ideal selves, and it's how we build a future that we love. So what can you do about this? Let's talk about the steps. The first step is to acknowledge your spinning thoughts and really get clear on what is the thing that I think I should be doing? What is the step that I'm not able to take? And this can be big and small things. We all have a lot of thoughts in our heads about what we think we should be doing. And it can be mundane things like, man, I really need to clean my room, or I really need to empty the dishwasher, or I really need to get back to the gym. It can be things as simple as that. The next step is to assess. So how important is this really? And is there a true deadline associated with this? And most importantly, is this something that you really want to do for your life? Or is this something you're doing to impress others or meet societal expectations and is something that you just really don't have that intrinsic motivation for? And this is a great question to determine if this thing needs to be on your to-do list at all. And one of the big reasons why you may be putting off this task that you think you should be doing is because you don't really want to do it at all. You're not really connected to that task or to the outcome of that task. And it doesn't really intrinsically motivate you. So a little bit of tough love wisdom here is that if you really wanted the outcome associated with that action, you would be doing it already. You wouldn't be telling yourself that you should be doing it. And an example that comes to mind with this is an episode of Ramit Sethi's podcast that I was listening to recently. And he talks about finance and kind of getting your finances in order. And he was talking to a couple that knew that they were in a bad situation. They knew that their spending was not working and that they couldn't meet rent every month. Like, they knew that their situation was bad, but they still weren't really taking the steps to fix it. One of the things is that they weren't really connected to the outcome of fixing their finances. So they weren't connected to the vision of the life that they would be able to have once they weren't behind on rent every month and once they actually had savings and they could do the things with their family that they wanted to do. So once you can really connect to the outcome of the action, that's when you'll probably have a much easier time actually following through and doing the thing that you want to do. So once you've identified kind of what is bothering you, what you can't take action on, and you've assessed whether or not it's actually important, whether or not there's actually a hard deadline, if you actually want to do that thing, those sort of questions, then the next step is to make a decision. So similar to my example, does this really need to get done today? So you can make that decision on whether or not it needs to get done today, or whether or not it actually even belongs on your to-do list. And from there, you can take action. So you either have the action to not do it, remove it from your to-do list if it's actually not something that you want, or you have the example of deciding to reassess tomorrow, like I did. So you'll just let yourself relax, the mental chatter can stop, and you can tell your brain, today I'm not doing it, tomorrow we're gonna do it. And finally, if it is really important, if it does have a deadline, then get into action. Do it now. Do it the minute that you decide. Because if you decide you need to do it today and then you just kind of leave it for later, your mind is still going to be thinking about it and kind of stressing about it until you get it done. So another way to just feel better immediately is to just get it done, do it now, realize it wasn't that bad, and feel the relief of having it done and having your mind finally shut up about doing the thing. And so when it comes to delaying the action, like I did, I took the day off and I decided to come back to it tomorrow. This is just about giving yourself a 1 or 2 day breather because you don't have the energy or you don't feel creatively inspired or whatever is going on for you. This is not an excuse to never get things done or to constantly kick the can down the road and always tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. This is really about, I know this needs to be done. I'm going to get this done. I cannot physically do it today. I'm going to wait until tomorrow. This is not to be about I'm going to be flowy and I'm only going to do things when I feel called to do them or when I'm in the mood. It's sometimes you really do need to have a little bit of that force to get things done. So you can be flowy, but you do need a little bit of force, like the force where you tell yourself, if I'm taking today off, then tomorrow I am using a little bit of willpower or determination or force to sit down for an hour and do the thing. So in this video, you've learned a huge reframe, which is to ask yourself whether or not this thing that you're avoiding actually needs to get done. Do you really want to do it? Is it really leading you towards your ideal future? Or maybe you've been extrinsically motivated or feel pressured into doing it. And maybe you can just remove it from your to-do list altogether. And if that thing can't be removed from your to-do list, then you've learned another way to look at your situation, which is maybe you can just give yourself a 1 or 2 day breather until you really feel like doing the thing. And you've been given the tools to assess whether or not that's the right decision to make moving forward. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you're into personal development and wellness content, then consider subscribing for weekly videos like this. And if you're ready to finally take action and change your life and you would like a little support in doing so, then head to the link in the description and check out the coaching package that I offer on my website.